Yo guys, Gen here bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops 7 content. With today's video, I have more competitive gameplay with a mixed S&D tourney for you guys with two best of fives, 3v3s, which is something very different from the rest of this content so far on this channel, but this was super fun to take part in, create content for, and I'm also very excited to share this video with you guys, explaining the purpose, the structure and format of how these best of fives took place, the players who are a part of this journey, building on that competitive content for this channel and going forward, and also a little bit of an overview on how Black Ops 7 has gone so far. So sit back, stay tuned, and let's get right into it. So first things first, I guess it's always worth highlighting the purpose or the overview of this video, and also highlighting the tournament, the format, the structures, the players, and the results, of course. And also I wanted to explain a bit of a history about myself as a player with competitive experiences going into this video, to give you guys a full understanding of who I am, in case you guys are new. As I can appreciate, of course, this is a very small channel, but I want to continue building on competitive gameplay. There's just something a huge part about it in Call of Duty, which is why I also buy the game and also continue to play the game for the longer periods of time. And being sort of competitive minded, this is something that I have hosted myself. These tournaments that I've uploaded to the channel has all been off my own back. I'm very fortunate to know a sort of small group of players who are all like-minded, knowledgeable, and have a wealth of experience. So it really helps when running these tournaments. Who I play with really does change a huge deal into how these tournaments can play out with regards to their seriousness and competitive aspects, and all of these environmental factors which make this journey so much more enjoyable. But as well as creating content for it, really does spice it up and create some interesting headlines, especially amongst my friends, and bragging rights going into the next tournament, which I continue to do and will continue to arrange going forward in Black Ops 7 to both produce content for and take part in almost like a season thing for our friends. So stick around for this, because this is going to be a really interesting one to break down. As I said, the video in itself is a 3v3 format, two best of fives, and making it a very spicy and interesting dynamic, because the two previous ones I've uploaded to this channel so far have always been 2v2 tournaments and also a mixture of 4v4s with respawn included too, whereas this was purely just S&D. Now for myself, I have been playing comp for over 10 years now. I started like back in the start of AW. I really got into it in Black Ops 3. That's really where I sort of found my groove. I'm a sub player. I used to love the VMP back in the day. Black Ops 3 is my favorite COD of all time, and that's how long I've pretty much been playing comp for. I also grind out rank play in the background, and as soon as it launches in this game, we are going to get well underway with that, as I'm a huge ranked fan, and I always grind for Iridescent every year, with sort of previously getting to that stage in previous titles, and I'm looking forward to that grind going forward. Of course, albeit as long as there's not hackers and completely ruin the journey like they did last year in Black Ops 6. That is the sort of caveat as to me not grinding the game out. But other than that, I would say this game so far has started off really well. If you're new to the game, you weren't aware, this is the Genesis master camo on my gun, and in case you guys weren't aware, I have got all of the camo grinds linked on my channel already, in case you guys are interested in grinding that camo as well, because I'm a huge master camo grinder. And why I'm saying it's relevant for this is because now that I've completed that camo grind, it almost feels like I've only got competitive gameplay to play going forward until ranked, and that is a really exciting feeling, because now I can really get into the groove of things. I've completed what I feel like is my journey in this game. I've got nukes in the game, I've got high kill games with 100 bombs and so on. Now we are solely focused on playing competitive in Call of Duty in Black Ops 7 as well as Warzone, and this is a big part of why I'm creating this content in this video. And other games that I also play, I thought I'd just mention it, it's Marvel Rivals, Minecraft, and as well as Zombies as well, which is partly why I think Black Ops 7 is very overhated, or at least at the very bare minimum underappreciated, because this game produced such a good Zombies content to start with it already being a really good multiplayer experience, having great maps for competitive, which is what we are really enjoying in our journey and playing in these tournaments. All in itself, I would say Black Ops 7 has been incredible from the get-go. And as I sort of touched on earlier, as we're well into Black Ops 7 now, me and my friends are going to continue to play more comp with ranked around the corner. We plan to sort of continue grinding as many reps as possible in these tournament-style sessions, having almost like a season-long thing where I'm going to sort of plan one a month if I can, and have some really exciting storylines, and just, I guess, sort of better gameplay as the season will go on. As these tournaments have already gone on, I myself and my friends have already become a lot better at playing this game competitively, or at search and destroy or hardpoint, whatever it may be, and that is something I want to continue to build on. So there's a little bit of an overview. I appreciate that just went on for a little bit longer than I wanted to do, but I just wanted to give you guys, in case you are new and you're picking up this video for the first time, or you guys were unaware from watching previous videos on the channel, this is a little bit of a background on myself, the format and the sort of the structure of this episode going forward, competitive gameplay, and so on. Now, as for this tournament in itself, the structure consisted of 7 players, which I know sounds really weird at first, but basically what we did is we did 2 best of 5s with 6 players in the first one and 6 players in the second one. One of our friends decided to rotate out in the first one, which did us a massive favor. We effectively tried getting 8 online. We couldn't do it, but because at the point of arranging this tournament, we had a lot of sessions going into this, a lot of reps, and I just thought, let's arrange a really spontaneous one prior to Christmas. A little sort of Christmas tourney is basically what I called this one, and have something competitive to play for in a sort of best of 5 serious mindset with the same fixed teams going forward. And this turned out to be an absolute blast. 2 best of 5 series consisting of 2 3v3s, and I guess it's very relevant to also provide an update or a preview, I guess, on the players who took part in this journey. Now, as I said earlier, I am extremely fortunate to know and be friends with various competitive-minded players, either with past or current experience dating back 10 or more so years, like myself, who basically makes this a lot more enjoyable than it should be, because for the most part, most people out there, you don't know that many people that can play comp at the same level as you guys. If you've clicked on this video, you either like competitive gameplay or you're aspiring to become better at the game. And like I said, I have a group of friends who are all in the same sort of boat. Some of them just play this game as much as I do, some of them not so much, but all in itself, it plays out in a really competitive environment, and that's why we absolutely love doing this. Now, these are my closest friends. However, if there is anyone watching this video for the first time and you want to take part in anything like this, I'm happy to invite you guys along. If you guys are good people and you're just a normal, regular person who wants to play comp at a high level, think of it like 8s or anything like that. If you guys want to take part, I'm happy for you to just comment your PSN ID down below. That's what we play on, and let me know, and we can happily get you involved in any of this. You have to obviously, of course, be interested and actually motivated to stick around and actually play these out. But for the most part, like I said, I just wanted to open that invitation to anyone watching this for the first time who maybe isn't as sort of fortunate and having multiple people to play with, but also just wants to get their head down and get into some of these reps. We're not like absolute the best in the world or anything like that. That's nothing what this video is trying to describe. It's purely people who are passionate about playing COD at the higher level, people who have full-time jobs, regular, normal people who are not amateurs or want to be pros. We're just people who love playing COD at a high level. Once you feel like you complete the game in a sense, like you've played pubs, you played zombies, it gets to a point where all you want to do is thrive off competition and grind out a ranked. And without ranked in the mix, this is the perfect environment to be in. But back to the tournament, just as I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity there in case you guys, there's anyone watching this who wants to maybe take part. But anyways, back to the tournament. This is a best of 5. The first one was me and my 2 friends. We initially started out on standoff, convincingly strong, winning that first map. The first time we actually played standoff in that map pool, being in Black Ops 7. But the 3v3 environment definitely made that map a lot more difficult. However, as the next 3 maps kind of unfolded, like I said, it was a best of 5, but maps 2, 3, and 4, they really were not close. We ended up losing the exposure, which was map 2, 6-3. We ended up playing Scar, losing 6-3 in game 3. We ended up going into the 4th map, the final must-win map, and we unfortunately got 6-0'd on Colossus, the first of our season in terms of me and against our friends in a competitive environment. However, because one of our friends was not ready, I effectively said, should we just play the 5th map and just see how it plays out? Purely because 1, it was on Den, and 2, even if we did win it, which we eventually did, spoiler alert, it meant that we only got beat 3-2, which does soften it a little bit, and I guess it was a bit of a get out for not getting 3-1, but at the same time, I just wanted to play more comp, and more importantly, so did my friends. So we went into game 5, and we played Den, and we actually won 6-2 in the end, which is great to see for momentum purposes, but it did feel better about losing in a sort of closer fashion than maybe 3-1, but going into that second best of 5, this was a quick series to say the least, with map 1 being a swift 6-1 win on Raid for me and my team. Now, I actually played with the 7th new player for this one, who's one of my closest friends, and also my brother, who was on the opposite team in the last series, so the dynamic was very different. They have a very sort of mixed up play style in terms of one being a dominant AR and one being a hybrid flex player, and this worked really well against the enemy team that we was playing across. The map 2 was, however, a lot closer, narrowly closing this out in a 6-5 win on standoff, which was also good, having more reps on this new map in this game, of course. Of course, I definitely played this back in the day, with it being a truly iconic and masterpiece of a map back in Black Ops 2. And then we ended up closing out the series in the first 3-0, the first sweep of our tournaments that I've arranged so far and taken part in, with this being also on Colossus, winning the map 6-1, which is also a controversial map amongst my friends. I'm not sure on how you guys feel about this, but a few of us enjoy it quite a bit, but some of us find it a very strange S&D map, although different, of course, on Hardpoint because it's quite a bang-out map. But I guess I also just wanted to ask you guys at this point in the video on what do you think of Colossus? Let me know down below, guys, in the comments on how you find this map as an S&D map. Do you think this is one of the most likely maps to get dropped out of the map pool as soon as the likes of Meltdown and Fringe and other maps get added in? I'm not sure. I personally quite like the map, but I could also see at the same time being one of the weaker ones versus the rest of the map pool because we have a wealth of good maps in this game, which is also a great thing. But all in all, honestly, 3s plays out a lot better in this game than I previously thought it would have. I don't particularly like 3s in other CODs. I've always been a fan of 4s, then 2s, and then 3s. Whereas in this game, I think I actually prefer 3s. I think the maps play better in a 3s format rather than 2s. Of course, 4s is always the preferable and the desirable option. If it's available to us, that is what I'd always choose to play. But as we had to kind of make up how we form these teams in this fashion, it turned out a lot lot better. My brother was the only player who ended up winning both the series, so I guess fair play to him. And in case you guys are new to this channel, you haven't seen the previous comp gameplays that I've added to the channel, I also add, that's basically add a little bit of an MVP sort of discussion point at the end of these series, just asking my friends on who they think played the best or who was the most valuable to their teams. Although a different style and format in terms of the fashion we played this in, it was still worth highlighting who was the best performer, because going forward, if we play a whole season long, it's good to know who performed better in these environments, how we can learn going forward, and also people should get their praise. Even if it's not that serious, it's still competitive amongst me and my friends, so it's just something that I add on the end of it. Although cringe may be cliche in other eyes, in my eyes it's cool to have a little bit of an archive, a legacy of what we did and achieved in Black Ops 7. It doesn't mean anything, it's purely just to look back on and to see who performed best in these environments, and I just think it's a good little touch to add as a final summary of these games and just how we play this in a competitive environment. But that with itself, I would say, what's next for this channel and upcoming competitive content? We are going to continue building on Black Ops 7, more tournaments and ranked gameplay, as I've alluded to all throughout. It's something I thrive on playing in those environments, and something I really enjoy both making content for and taking part in, whether it's me arranging a tournament, whether it's us playing in CMG tournaments, whatever it may be, or of course, if you guys have a group of friends out there, another 4-man team who wants to try and challenge maybe a 4-man team of myself and my friends, let me know also down below. This is not an ego chow, this is simply just me asking if there's other teams out there that maybe want to play in a less consequential environment, where records aren't on the line, it's more just bragging rights, and this could also be uploaded to the channel as well for future content. But as well as that, I also take part in Warzone kill races. We're going to do our first Warzone kill race on the Havens Hollow map coming up shortly on this channel, and in addition to COD, I did allude to it earlier, but I do also play other games more competitively and generally as well, and upload it to the channel, which does include Warzone. It includes Marvel Rivals. I'm a big fan of Marvel, and this is something I also love taking part content in, as well as creating content for Zombies, Minecraft, Borderlands, and more. So in case you guys weren't aware, go check them out on the channel. I've got playlists for all of this in case you guys are interested. But in summary, this was the third and hopefully more of many tournaments that I'll host and share with you guys on this channel for various different games, a series that I'm super excited to add to and also continue playing for various different reasons going forward, and hopefully, more importantly, inspire you guys to either take part in your own tournaments or perhaps even arrange your own, whether you want to take part or start one yourself, and maybe even send me an invite. I'll happily take part. It's something I would look forward to massively, especially in case of the fact that I inspired a new decision. Whatever it may be, I just hope that people will take part in this sort of the competitive environment and in this scene more so going forward. But with that said, hopefully you've enjoyed the video as always. Do not forget to like and subscribe, as it massively helps me out. I'm a small creator. If you have any suggestions on any upcoming videos that you want to see on this channel, or any games that you'd also like me to host a tournament for, whether it's a competitive environment or not, let me know down below guys in the comments, and I will get right back to you. I'm Vision SGen, and I'll see you in the next one.